अब हो गया होगा भाई, माइक हुआ क्या? गुड आफ्टरनून रघु सर। गुड आफ्टरनून सर। गुड आफ्टरनून हनोक। गुड आफ्टरनून तेजा। गुड आफ्टरनून बेटा। गुड आफ्टरनून संतोष। हेलो हेलो श्रद्धा निहारिका, गुड आफ्टरनून। Yeah, I am good. How about you? Yeah, Meghna, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Varnakya, Kirti, Kashu, good afternoon. Vaishnavi, good afternoon. Hello, hello, Akshita. Padam Kant, hello. Hi. I hope you all are doing well. Good afternoon, Yashoda, Tejasvi, good afternoon. So any doubts regarding previous class? Any doubts? Good afternoon, Bhavani. Good afternoon. Yeah, I am good, Santosh. Thanks. How are you and how is your family doing? Mohan, good afternoon. Yes, okay, Mohan, you are not having any doubt. Fine, okay, great. Good afternoon, Avilash. Vahini, good afternoon. Good to see you all. Yeah, Jayasankar, good afternoon. Yes, no doubt, sir. Great. Good afternoon, Tejas. Okay, good afternoon, Shraddha. I have a doubt. Which? Yes, tell me. No doubt. Okay, no doubt. Yes, tell me. What is your doubt? Write it there. Sir, what is the difference? Yes, we will be discussing today. We will be, in fact, we will be starting the class between evaporation and vaporization. Yes, yes. Boiling and melting is better. See, what are the different states of a matter? Can you tell me, Shraddha? What are the different states of matter? Sai Shraddha, what are the different states of matter? Matter की different states क्या हैं? Very good. So when solid gets converted into liquid, so the temperature at which solid gets converted into liquid will be known as melting point. It is getting melted. Okay. So solid is getting melted into liquid, then it will be known as melting. When liquid is converted into gases, then it will be known as boiling. Right? The temperature at which liquid get converted into vapor or gas, it will be known as boiling point. So what is the melting and boiling for water? Great. So the doubt of Shraddha is clear. Let's wait for a few minutes. 100 degree and 0. Okay. So try to give answers in Kelvin, right? You make a practice to hello beta, hello. Yes, hello. Okay. Great. See, chemistry is itself a different language. So to get expertise in chemistry, you must be knowing few basic terms and terminology, and basic mathematics is required. That's it. Okay. So there is one branch of physical chemistry is physical chemistry. What I have seen, people find themselves comfortable to understand the concept, but they find a difficulty to solve the question or to get the answer because of not having good command over basic mathematics. They do not know how to divide, they do not know how to add powers. Okay, so and how to solve log. So we will be doing all sorts of mathematics in your mathematics class. Then the mathematics which is required in chemistry, we will be doing that also. What will you teach organic chemistry in that electronic in electronic configuration will be discussed earlier. Organic chemistry will come later. Electronic configuration will be discussed even in next 2 or 3 lectures. We will be getting basic of electronic configuration. Then we will be studying it in detail while we will be studying atomic structure. Electronic configuration is so easy. Yes, it is easy and very handy and very important concept. Let's wait for 2-3 minutes, and I hope. See, you guys have to make a habit to join anyhow by 12:15. Otherwise, every day we are going to lose these precious 5 or 10 minutes, right? So in long term, if we add 2 weeks classes, then we will be losing 1 hour. So you have to make a practice. Yes, sir, Subhodham is not good. Okay, Shubho Mandyam, right? Am I right? Vaishnav, Shubho Mandyam, Madhyanam, yes. So Shubho Madhyanam. Deepak, good afternoon. Good afternoon, beta. So we discussed in the previous lecture regarding matter. What is matter and what are its how can we study it on the basis of physical properties. So we divided it into solid, liquid, and gas. Yes, Varsha, good afternoon. Vinay, good afternoon. See, okay. So I think those concepts regarding solid, liquid, gas, boiling point, melting point, sublimation point. Sublimation we didn't discuss. Sublimation is direct conversion of solid into gas. Okay, the point or the temperature at which solid get converted into gas. Okay, so that is known as, the board is not clear, I will be writing with big font. Solid gets converted into gas, then it will be known as sublimation. You need to remember few compounds which sublimates at 1 atm pressure. These are camphor, naphthalene, anthracene. No, there are other many. In fact, you must have heard about dry ice. Do you know dry ice? What is dry ice? What is dry ice? No, the dry ice is solidified CO2. It is solidified CO2. Okay, so if you release the pressure, it gets converted into, yes, carbon dioxide. It's the solid form of carbon dioxide. So you must remember what is dry ice. Okay, so these concepts we have already discussed in the previous class. Now let's discuss what is okay. So in today's class, first thing is difference, the graph related to this interconversion of states, various states, right? But before that, we must know what is diffusion. What is diffusion? In previous class, we have studied spontaneous and non-spontaneous, right? We already understood the terms spontaneous and non-spontaneous. Let me tell you what is the difference between spontaneous and non-spontaneous in 30 seconds. Let's say there is a ball, there is a cricket ball lying over there at the top of the hill, and there is a different ball lying at this bottom valley of the at the bottom of the valley. Okay, so in this case we have to, if we put a little bit of force initially, if we put a little bit of force, so it will starts moving by its own. So this kind of process is known as spontaneous. The process which occur by itself or with the initiation of little bit of force. In starting, they will require little force, and after that, the process will keep going on, right? So they are known as spontaneous. But in this case, if we want to move the ball, we need to put a force. We need to put a force. Constantly we need a certain amount of force. If we remove that force, the direction of the process, if we remove this force, the direction of the ball will get reverted. So non-spontaneous process can be defined the process which are occurring with the help of force, or if we remove that force, that external force, the direction of the process will change. So this is how we can understand the difference between spontaneous and non-spontaneous. Is that clear? So shall we move to diffusion? Yes, okay, fine. So you can remember this thing. In this case, you put a little bit of force, then the process will happen by its own. But in this case, constant force is required, right? So these are two spontaneous and non-spontaneous concepts. Now next thing is diffusion. This is also another important term. Diffusion can be defined as intermixing of particles of same substance or different substances. When we mix two things and their particles, you need to focus on the terms particles. When their particles mixed by itself. Yes, I will be explaining bulk and surface. Do not worry when I will be telling you about evaporation and boiling point. So just hold on. First, focus on diffusion. Focus on diffusion. So diffusion is nothing but it is a simple process of intermixing by its own. The important word is it is a spontaneous process. It's a spontaneous process. Spontaneous process of intermixing. Right? I have told one example in the previous class. If there is nitrogen here and here, O2, O2, O2. If you remember this barrier, this block or this partition, then what will happen after certain time, after some time, this particle will move towards this direction. This O2 particle will try to move in this direction. So diffusion can be simply understood as intermixing of particles of different substances. So is it clear? Is it clear? It can happen anywhere. It can happen between solid and solid, liquid and liquid, liquid and gases, right? Diffusion is just, you can understand it as intermixing, and that intermixing is happening by itself. You are doing nothing. So and understood, this is intermixing at atomic level. It is intermixing at the particle level. When particles are getting intermixed, right? If me and you are getting intermixed, this will not be known as diffusion. So the mixing at the particular level, particle level. Okay. So I think diffusion is clear. Shall we move ahead? So any example? Let me explain it with another example. If we add sugar into water, if we add sugar into water, what happens? After certain time, we are not able to identify where sugar has gone, right? So what happened when we add sugar? The particle of sugars get into the spaces of the water. The particle of the sugar get diffused between the particles of the water. Okay, so particle of sugar as well as particle of water get intermixed. So this is known as diffusion. Yes, incense stick smoke diffusing. If you burn a stick or candle, okay, or you put a perfume on yourself, what happened? A person standing in front of you also gets the smell. Okay, so this is also an example of diffusion. I think diffusion is clear, but you must remember that it is a spontaneous process, and we will be studying this in detail in gases state chapter, right? We will be having some formula which gas will diffuse first. Okay, so there will be a formula for gases N2 or H2, which will diffuse first. Okay, so we will be studying this. It actually rate of diffusion depends upon their molecular mass. Okay, the lesser the molecular mass, rate of diffusion is higher. See, so we can easily comprehend this by, if a molecule is bulky or the atom is bulky, then its rate of diffusion will be slow. Yes, so hydrogen will be moving faster. So a smaller particle or the particle having lesser mass will be diffusing in fast with greater rate. Okay, so this we will be studying while we will understanding the concept of gaseous states. Okay, so I hope everyone have got this concept, diffusion. So graph of interconversion between various states. Okay, so let's say there is some substance A. If you heat it, let's its melting point of A is T1 and boiling point of A is T2, right? So what will happen? Let's say A is here at temperature T, which is less than T1. If we start heating, the temperature of A will increase. Its temperature will increase up to it reaches to T1 state. Up to the temperature of A becomes T1. So till here it will remain as solid. Till here it will remain as solid. But after that, what will happen? At temperature T1, as it is its melting point, it will start getting converted into liquid state. At this moment of time, the whatever energy given to the A, it will be utilized to break its intermolecular forces, right? So all the A, various, bro, it is various. Deepak, it is various states, interconversion of various states. Okay, I have written in shorts. Okay, so A at T1 temperature, if you giving it extra heat, that extra heat will be utilized in breaking its intermolecular forces. Okay, so at T1 temperature, A solid will be getting converted into A liquid. This is T1. Let's say you have spent something Q1 energy, Q1. Okay, let's say you have given this moment of time Q1 heat to the A1 so that it get converted into Al. And what do we call this Q1? It is known as latent heat of fusion. Do you remember this term? What is latent heat of fusion? What is latent heat of fusion? Do you remember this term? Hidden, yes. So all the heat which is required to convert solid of A into liquid of A. Yes, converting the energy required to convert A into a solid into liquid. After that, whatever heat you will provide, it will be utilized in raising the temperature of liquid A up to temperature T2. Okay. At this moment of time, when the temperature of A becomes T2, if you are providing it some heat, it will be utilized to break its intermolecular force so that a liquid form of A can get converted into vapor state. So at this moment of time, all the heat given will be utilized to change its state. Yes, and it will be termed as, let's say it is Q2, it will be termed as latent heat of vaporization. Vaporization. Now whatever heat you will give to a gas, it will only raise its temperature. If you still continuing to provide heat to A, its temperature will raise. T will become greater than T2. So is this process is clear with everyone? What is happening? I have started from here where the temperature was below, where the temperature was lesser than its melting point. So if you start with melting point, when you provide heat, it will be utilized to raise its temperature. Temperature will be raised till its temperature becomes T1. That is its melting point. At this moment, whatever the heat is given, it will be utilized to break its intermolecular forces. Okay, so the phase, so its state change of state is happening here, right? But temperature is not increasing. Okay, is that clear? So if we want to put this on the graph, how we are going to put it? वो वाला बोर्ड काम करेगा क्या नहीं करेगा? बिल्कुल भी वो ग्लास बोर्ड एक बार is it visible? Whatever I am drawing, is it visible? इसके different type of marker आते होंगे, अलग type. हाँ अब मिल नहीं रहा. Is it visible? Slightly, yes sir, it is blur sir. कोई बात नहीं, we will be using the okay. So what is the equation of line? What is the equation of line, Avi? What is the equation of line? Okay, let's say here it is heat. You are providing heat. Here it is temperature. So we have started at temperature T. This is its melting point temperature, that is T1. This is T1. This is T2. That is its boiling point. Right? So we have started from here, T, which is temperature less than its melting point. Okay. So in this case, when we are giving heat Q, Okay, so initially temperature will increase. Initially temperature will increase till it reaches to T1, right? Whatever the heat you are giving, so it will get converted into, it will be get utilized to raise its temperature. So till here, what is happening? Temperature of the solid is getting increased. After this point, whatever the heat is given, temperature will not increase. Here, solid will be getting converted into liquid, right? At certain moment of time, again, the temperature will be rising. Then here also, between this and this, liquid is getting converted into gas. So this amount here, Q1, it is latent heat of fusion. And here, it is latent heat of vaporization. Is that clear? Initially temperature is rising. Yes. Anyone is having doubt in this graph? Clear? Because this is very important graph. Okay, it will give you more clarity. Okay, I will not rub. Anyone? Okay, you copy it. Anyone who is having any doubt? What is meant by latent? Latent, क्या नाम था उसका? Akshay. You were not present in previous class, Akshay? Were you there in yesterday's class? No, sir. That is why. Latent means hidden. The heat or energy required to change the state of matter. Okay, so the energy required to change the state of any substance from one state to another, right? If it is from solid to liquid, it will be known as fusion, latent heat of fusion. The heat required from liquid to gas will be known as vaporization. Yes. Nice. Size Parvati. Sir, board is not visible. See, for couple of days, you have to bear with it. Once lockdown is over, we will be doing something so that it will be more clear to you guys. ये मार्कर अच्छे हैं क्या? पुराना मार्कर दो आप तो एकदम घिसा हुआ, नया मत दो. ये ठीक लग रहा है थोड़ा, ये भी ठीक लग रहा है, नहीं लग रहा है? ठीक है, ये देखते हैं. So I'll be explaining it once again. We have taken some solid A. We are giving it some heat. Yes, I'll be using these two. We are providing heat to substance A. What will happen? That on providing the heat, temperature of substance A will rise. So the temperature of substance A is rising. See here. It will rise till its temperature becomes T1. At this moment of time, whatever the heat is provided, it will be utilized first to change the solid, to change the state from solid to liquid by breaking the intermolecular force. Latent heat is not constant. It depends upon compound to compound. It will be depending upon the substance. Water will be having different latent heat, and calcium carbonate or some other substance will be having different latent heat. Okay, so till this moment of time, temperature will raise. After that, the heat which we are giving, okay, it will be utilized to break the bonds. It will be utilized to break the bonds of the solid so that it get converted into liquid. So as heat is utilized to break the bond, the temperature will not rise. Okay, so the temperature will not rise until all the solid is converted into liquid. Okay, and you can see high heat of the liquid is more than heat of the solid, right? So if you touch this solid and if you touch this liquid, you will feel more heat over here. Okay, temperature of both the things are same, but liquid is also having weaker intermolecular forces. It has acquired extra amount of energy, that is latent heat of fusion. Once all the solid is get converted into the liquid, after that whatever amount of the heat you are giving, it will again raise the temperature of liquid. It will raise the temperature of liquid. It will raise the temperature of liquid until it reaches to T2 temperature. This is T2 temperature. This is T2, this is T1. Now at this moment of time, again, whatever the heat you are providing, it will be getting utilized to change its state. Now the state will be changing from liquid to gas, and the heat utilized to change complete liquid into gas is known as latent heat of vaporization. Is that clear? Initially it will be utilized to raise the temperature. Temperature is increasing. After that it will be utilized to break the intermolecular force. Here temperature is raising. Here it is utilized to break bonds, to break the bonds. Here also it is utilized to break bonds. Right? So, okay, clear. Mohan, it is clear. Bhavani, it is clear. Anyone else? I can see more number of students than previous class. So I am seeing that only 10 or 20 students are replying. I am expecting that all students should participate and they should respond. It is very important. If you have understood this chart, then you are ready to get the concept of 11th and 12th class. Okay, you will not feel difficulty. It is very important and critical concept. Okay, initially the temperature is utilized to raise the temperature, then it is required to break the bond. Okay, so see this, explain once more, sir. Shraddha, initially it is solid, so the heat given to it will raise its temperature. After that, at melting point, the heat given will not raise its temperature. It will only be utilized to change its state. So there can be either change of state or increase in temperature. Either of two. There are two functions. Heat given to you can do two functions. One thing is temperature, regarding temperature, and another thing is regarding state change. So initially change of state, initially increase in temperature is happening. Then at this moment of time, phase change is occurring. After that, again increase in temperature. After that, again change of state. Okay. So due to change of state, temperature is not increasing. That is why it is a line which is parallel to the x-axis. See, here temperature is T1. Here also temperature is T1, and here also is temperature T1. Okay. Okay, Sai. Okay. Anyone else is having any doubt regarding this concept? Then we can move to evaporation and melting. Oh, sorry, boiling. Okay. Okay. Great. I want answer of all the students. We have put lot of efforts. Yes, we will be discussing evaporation, and condensation is just the reversible, just the opposite process of vaporization. Condensation is just opposite process of vaporization. It is conversion of gases into liquid. So what if we keep on heating the gas? So the temperature of gas will the temperature of gas will keep increasing. After that, after very huge temperature, it will be getting converted into plasma. But for that, we require very high temperature, 10⁷ Kelvin, which we cannot reach practically. Filtration, it is not required to discuss filtration. These are very simple concepts. Okay, so is it clear? Is it clear? Shall we move ahead? You should not start. You are not supposed to start a new topic in chat box, right? You should focus over here. Okay, great. Okay, great. Let us start another topic. Everyone has noted it down? Let's move. Let's move. What do you say? Let's move in Telugu. I want some clear, simple words. Let's move. How will you say? Padandi. Am I right? Padandi. Podam. Chalo. Okay. Chalo is in Hindi. Okay. You are providing me many synonyms. Some. Okay. Podam. I'll keep in mind podam. Podam. Okay. Yesterday we have discussed what is evaporation and what is boiling. See, just see these two observations and you will be able to explain. We put water into a vessel. What happens? See, let me explain it in detail. Let's say there is water in this container. Okay. And we have understood that anything related to matter, anything or any matter is made up of large number of particles. So let's say it is made up of large number of particles. Okay. So what will happen? The second point was there will always be gap in between the particles, and third point was they will be in motion. The particles will be in motion, and when this particle is in motion and it will be interacting with this particle, okay, it will be colliding with the other particles. During the collision, exchange of energy will happen. And due to exchange of energy, some particle will get higher energy and other particles' energy will decrease. Is that clear? Due to collision, some particles will be at higher energy and other particles will be having lower energy. Is that clear? Yes. Due to collision, some particles will be having higher energy. Yes, due to elastic collision. I was just waiting for this term. What was elastic collision? Collisions in which total energy is conserved. And due to conservation of energy, energy of some particle will raise and energy of other particle will decrease. Yes, no loss of energy. So these particles, let's say iski energy increase ho gayi. Let's say the energy of this particle get increased. So the particles which are having higher energy will try to move at surface. So the particle having higher energy will be present at surface. The particles with higher energy will be at surface. Okay. The particles with the higher energy will be at surface, and the difference in energy is coming due to collision between the particles. The particles present at the surface will try to escape from the surface. They think they are having high energy, so that they will try to escape. They they will try to escape. Okay, and this escaping tendency sometimes permit them to come into vapor state. So few of them will come in vapor state. Okay, so are we providing any external energy in this process, in this whole process, or this process is happening by its own? Are we providing any extra amount of energy or external energy? No. But parts, even if we are not providing extra energy, then also the particles of the liquid are trying to escape from the liquid state. Okay, they are itself trying to escape from the liquid state because of their internal collision. That, okay, it is spontaneous, very nice. And this whole process is known as evaporation. It can happen at any temperature. There will always be molecular or particular motion. The particle will always be having motion, and due to this motion, they will be colliding with each other. They will be always colliding with each other, and some particle will move at the surface, and due to higher energy, they will try to escape. And they are escaping from the surface. They are escaping from the surface. That is why it is known as surface phenomena. That is why it is known as surface phenomena. Is that clear? It's a spontaneous process. It's the spontaneous conversion. It is spontaneous conversion. Spontaneous conversion of surface particle into vapor state. Right? The particles present at the surface will try to escape because they are having higher energy. They are having higher energy. Yes, the lower particle will remain at the bottom. They will remain at the bottom. So is that clear? That is why it is known as surface phenomena. So it is a surface phenomena. So if someone asks, on increasing the surface area, evaporation will increase or decrease? Evaporation will increase or decrease? Increase. There will be more particle at the surface. The more opportunity will be available. See, it is similar. The more number of students will be in our class, the more number of students will be present in our class, there will be higher chance that they will get selected into the competition, right? The student present in our class will be having more energy and they will be having better clarity of concept. So the chances of getting selected into the competitive exam will be higher. So is that clear? Then we can move into boiling. Okay, it can happen at any temperature less than boiling point. We do not require external source. But in this case, what will be happening? We are providing heat. External source is required. So what will happen when you providing external heat? The temperature of the water will increase. The temperature of the substance will increase. And at certain moment of time, surface phenomena means it is occurring at the surface. The process occurring at the surface. Surface means Deepak, the process occurring at the surface. Here we are providing heat. The particle, let's say it is at T temperature. So on providing it, its temperature will increase. And it will reach to T boiling point. Okay. At the moment when temperature is equal to boiling point, the bonds between the particle will be broken. The bonds between the particles will be broken due to supply of extra heat. Yes, due to supply of extra heat. The bonds between the water molecule will get broken and they will try to escape. So particles present at here can have high amount of energy and it will try to escape. So it can happen even from the bulk of the, this is bulk. Bulk means body. Bulk means body. Any particle of the water will be having sufficient energy that it can convert itself into vapor state. Okay. So in this case, we are providing heat externally. So it is a non-spontaneous process. Non-spontaneous process. And it will happen only at when temperature is T boiling point. Okay. But this can happen at any temperature. Bulk means particle from the body. It is happening only at surface. Okay. So that's the difference. So is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear to all? Podam, you said podam, right? Yes, sir. Clear. Great. It took time, but you guys have understood the concept, right? Great. In evaporation surface, right. Great. I want response from everyone. Great. Anusha, Chaturya, Teja, right? Great. So I think we have understood all these concepts regarding diffusion, elastic collision, what is Brownian motion. What was Brownian motion? Any one of you? What was Brownian motion? So shall I rub it or you are going to note it? Yes, zigzag motion. Zigzag motion of particles. Okay, zigzag motion of particles. It can be in liquid or in gas. Great. We will be studying about this thing in maybe next or after the next class. Right. Shall we move ahead? Chalo, Podam. Yes, sir. Okay. So you have written it? You have written it? Beldam, sir. What do you mean by Beldam? 1 minute. Okay. Take your time and write it. We had copied, sir. Okay, great. So any doubt regarding previous 3 classes? Any doubt? No, sir. Okay, so let me explain. I wanted to start a new topic, but we will start in maybe today or maybe in after today's lecture. But before that, we should learn how to draw graph, basic graphs. Just basic. You will be studying these things in detail in maths. See, there is one equation is known as y is equal to mx plus c. Okay. So in that case, you have to draw a line. Generally, this line corresponds to y-axis. And this line corresponds to x-axis. Right? If you see this kind of form, I am not going into the detail. Okay. I am just telling you how to draw a graph. Okay. For such kind of equation, if you are seeing somewhere, if you are seeing somewhere this kind of equation, then what will you do? You will be drawing, the graph will be like this. That is a straight line. The graph of straight line, right? It is a graph of a straight line. So depending upon m, m can be positive, it can have positive value or it can have negative value. See? Depending upon m, the graph can be like this or it can be like this, downward or upward. There can be 2 kind of line. Basically, one is increasing and one is decreasing. Chemistry में इतना ही रहेगा. केमिस्ट्री में इतना ही रहेगा, one is increasing and one is decreasing. So it will depend all upon m. If m is positive, then graph will be like increasing. If m is negative, then graph will be like decreasing. This is something basic which we have to remember and practice. M represents the slope. It represents the slope. It tells you about the nature of the line, whether it is increasing or it decreasing. This is what I can tell you. You will be getting m, the whole concept about m in maths, or maybe Astik sir will be telling you in physics. Okay, so for now m will be telling you about, if it is a positive number then it means it is increasing, or m if it is having value negative then it means decreasing. Okay, so let's say then there is a term c. It will be telling you where to start, from where to start the graph. Okay, because if you put the value of x, if you put the value of x 0, the value of y will become c. So this value can be, this can be any value, 2 3 4 5 minus 2 3. So let's say it's a value which stands over here. This is c. Okay, and let's suppose m is positive. So the line will be like this. If m is positive, m is nothing but slope. You will be understanding slope, the rate at which graph is increasing. Higher the value, the higher the rate of the rate with which line the slope of the or the increase in the line will be higher. Okay, so m is positive, then line will represent, line will be drawn like this. And if m is negative, then it will go downwards. Okay, so we will be doing some examples. Okay, let's say I have given t. Okay, let me give you, h is something which is 2.2t plus 5. How will you represent this? Can you represent this? Yes, falling, decreasing and falling are the same. M tells about the slope. It is basically slope. Yes, here it is positive. So how will you draw? How will you draw? You can write it. You can write it. This thing you can write. Increase, increase. Yes, the slope is in. So you have to start. For the given equation, you will write h over here. As in our case, y is h. You can compare these two equations. Y is h and t is x. So you will. Okay. Now the graph is starting from 5. It is starting from 5. Some positive number 5. So from 5 it start, and with the slope positive, that is 2. Okay. So it will look like this. Chemistry में इतना ही sufficient है. In chemistry, if you are able to draw this much, your problem, you will be able to solve the problem, right? Is that clear? Shall I give you another example? Shall I give you another example? Sir, video is not coming. Yes, sir. So I'll wait. You leave the meeting and rejoin. You have written all this? These two things you have written? Now it is given, equation is given ln C is equal to ln C naught plus K T. Let me tell you, this is some constant. Okay, it is a constant. This is a variable. Here K is constant. K is constant. T is time. That is variable. T. This is also variable. How we are going to draw this? Okay. If we compare this and this equation, you will write here ln of C. Okay, you will write here ln of C. Then you will write here time, T is time. The slope is, in our case, now slope is K. Okay. So the equation will start from ln of C naught. It will look like this. Depending upon the value of K. Depending upon the value of K. If it is positive, then line will go in the upper direction. Or if it is negative, then line will go in the downward direction. Let's say I have written like equation like this. ln of C is equal to ln of C naught minus KT. In this case, can you represent the equation? Yes, in this case, it is negative. So in this case, for this case, let's say ln C naught is here. So the direction of the line will be downward. That's it. If you are able to get this thing, then in chemistry you will not be facing any problem, right? There are simple example. I can give you simple example. Pressure directly proportional to, this is like this. One equation is P is here, P is pressure, T is temperature. How will you draw? How will you draw? Pressure, temperature, and in this case there is no C. If C, the value of C will be, you can write it 0. C is 0. So the equation will be starting from this point. This is origin. This is our origin. So equation will be starting from here. The graph will look like this. Is it okay? Is it okay with everyone? Is it okay with everyone? Yes, yes. Okay. So we will be discussing this while we will be studying gaseous laws, then chemical kinetics. Then we will be discussing all these things in detail. There is another kind of graph. Y is equal to m upon x. In this case, we can see x and y are indirectly related to each other. If you increase the value of x, the value of y will decrease. See this equation. So in this case, if you increase the value of x, the value of y will decrease. Okay. So this graph will look like and it is not directly, it is indirectly proportional. So graph in such cases will be look like this. These are two kinds of graph which you have to keep in your mind while solving the problem of chemistry. Okay. If the equation look like this, then nature of graph will be like this. And if the equation is like this in the form of a straight line, then we have to draw straight line depending upon whether the slope is negative or positive. Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes, yes. Okay. So what we have studied till now is classification of substances on the basis of physical properties. So our next concept is classification of substance on the basis of chemical properties, right? So on the basis of chemical properties, matter, right? We are starting from here. We have already understood on the physical properties, on the basis of physical properties, solid, liquid, gas. We had also known about plasma and Bohr-Einstein condensate. This we have already studied, right? But about the next thing is about chemical. It can also be divided into pure substances. You can draw this diagram. Mixture. We will be studying in detail about all these things in next class. Pure substances can further subdivided into elements and compound. Elements and compound. Right? Mixtures can also be classified as homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture. इतना नोट कीजिए आप लोग. ओके, होमोजेनियस एंड हेटेरोजेनियस नोट कीजिए आप लोग एक बार. Elements can be further subdivided into or classified into metals, non-metals and metalloids. Metals, non-metal and metalloid. Metal, non-metals and metalloids. Okay, so you draw this chart, and about each of them we will be studying in next class. So today's class was very important. Okay, we have understood some very important concept: diffusion, then latent heat. We have again understood about latent heat, right? The difference between evaporation and melting point. So is there any doubt which you want me to repeat? Is there any doubt which you want me to repeat? No. Okay, fine. So how was class? How was today's class? Okay. 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 Great. Goppa. Bagundi. Yes, nice. Okay. Right. Good. Akshita. Darshak. Subdivision of element. This we will be studying in next class. This is also very important. Okay. This we should know before moving into 11th and 12th. Okay, guys. We should end our class now. We should end our class, and if you are having any doubt, we will discuss it in the next class. Nice. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Metal, non-metals and metalloids. Metal, non-metal and metalloids. Noble gas will come under non-metal. Noble gas will come under non-metal. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. You should rejoin for physics at 1:30. Okay. Please keep in your mind about the timing. ओके, थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू गाइस। कोई तो कुछ लिखा था अभी, इट इज नॉट नहीं, चलो चलो ठीक है गाइस, थैंक यू सो मच।